You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I can do those things because I'm not a hero. I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be.
They'll hunt you.
You'll hunt me. You'll condemn me. Set the dogs on me. Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes the truth isn't good enough. Sometimes people deserve more. Sometimes people deserve to have their faith rewarded.
Let me crystallize what happened. The Moynihan Report called for investment in the black man and the restoration of the black family. Great Society programs focused instead on investment in women and couldn't care less about traditional family structure. The spoils of the civil rights movement went to women. The feminist movement overtook the civil rights movement. The black woman licked her finger, stuck it in the air, figured out which direction the winds were blowing, and it wasn't blowing the black man's direction, and the black woman switched teams. She became a feminist. You may not like what I'm saying, but that's exactly what the hell happened. Wow. Patrick Moynihan diagnosed a cancer destroying black America, the emasculation and the marginalization of the black man. The left rejected his diagnosis. They didn't trust the science, so they framed it as racist, offered the black woman 20 pieces of silver, offered the black woman 20 pieces of silver.
Come on, man.
And the cancer metastasized all over, and then they doubled down on the black matriarchy. That's what happened. Maria Taylor is the byproduct of the black matriarchy, of 55 years of relentless investment in and celebration of the black woman, and the exact opposite treatment of the black man and the black family. That's what's happened the last 55 years. I don't care if you don't like it. Those are facts. They invested in women, they invested in black women, and they neglected and set about destroying the black man and emasculating him. For the last 55 years, all Maria Taylor has heard, and every other black woman, you can do no wrong. You are the proper leader of black culture. And you don't need a black man for anything beyond occasional casual sex. The whole system has been rigged to create black Cersei Lannisters. I don't care if you don't like it, it's the facts, it's the truth. 55 years ago, the Moynihan Report specifically addressed the widening educational and achievement gap between black women and black men. Those gaps are far wider today. But all you hear about is, oh God, we gotta elevate these black women. You don't never hear anybody talking about elevating the black boy, man, anything. There is no focus on us. You know what we get? We get George Floyd memorials. You know what we get? We get Ahmaud Arbery birthday celebrations and bashes. We get black criminals raised from the dead, resurrected as pagan gods. And you wonder why I'm pissed off half the time? Every bit of the chaos, dysfunction, degeneracy, violence, and lack of achievement everyday black people are living with today was documented, predicted, and discussed in 1965. A clear game plan and solution were called for in 1965, 2 years before I was born. We let the media convince us that investing in the black man and the black family was racist. Let me repeat that.
Say it again.
We let the media convince us that investing in the black man and the black family was racist. We fell for that shit. You wonder why corporate media is obsessed with framing everything as racist? It works. It works as a way of getting black people to make decisions against our best interests.
The clip that you just heard was from Jason Whitlock from his podcast. And this was sent to me by none other than Dr. Ronald Neal, famous for Get Off My Page BMI and BMA, black male independence, and soon to be the progenitor of black male primacy, BMP, hashtag. But I'm wondering why Dr. Neal is sharing a video of my favorite Bosco. No shade on the Boscos. So I go over there, and Jason Whitlock, is normally as pompous as he normally is getting wound up about Maria Taylor. And he starts dropping bombs about the Moynihan report and the black matriarchy, which I call the Gynocracy. And he's throwing lefts and he's throwing rights, and my jaw just drops on the floor. I said, I cannot believe that Jason Whitlock, who has been on sports TV and started really downplaying blacks and black men, coming here throwing haymakers on the Gynocracy. I'm still shocked. I had to digest it and hear it first. In fact, I had to turn it off the first time because how you have to shake off the cobwebs, because you must be imagining it, right? You must be imagining it. It can't be Jason Whitlock saying the exact same words that you said 5 years ago. Because I did this, it's more than 5 years, 6 years ago. I did the Moynihan Report and actually did a video series called Feminize America that talked about how the Johnson administration in 1968 sowed the seeds of subjugating the civil rights movement and giving the proceeds, the spoils of the civil rights movement, which was over 20 years in the making, to white women. And black women were their proxy. And everything that Moynihan said, everything that I said, and have been saying for the past 6-7 years, Jason Whitlock summed it up in like 5 minutes, which is why he's on the air and he's doing sportscasting and he's getting the big bucks, and I'm a humble old black man. Life is fair, but it's uncool. But that's the power of his words. That's the power of him being able to summarize this and put passion into it. So, when I heard it, I'm like, what just happened? Did lightning strike? Did a thunderbolt come out of the air? Did all of a sudden a mainstream character come down and just weigh in on this whole black manosphere thing? Maybe it took a Maria Taylor to actually assert her power, to actually invoke this kind of passion from black male broadcasters, who actually come out and speak, because this is bold, man. This is heresy in the Gynocracy, what he just said. Even though Bill Burr said it about the white women that stuck their blood-soaked Gucci boots over the fence of oppression and declared themselves on the other side. But the white liberal establishment that changed consciousness, black consciousness, to being woke, to change it from a black liberation to a white social justice warrior liberal thing. That's what woke is. Woke is nothing but black consciousness subjugated and homogenized by white folks. They're getting ready to do with critical race theory. Trust and believe, critical race theory is getting ready to be turned into critical social justice theory. They're going to homogenize that too. And guess who's going to sit back and cheerlead it? It's going to be black women, as they're doing now. Maria Taylor, there's no way Maria Taylor was due or even owed the same amount of money as Stephen A. Smith. Not in God's creation, nowhere near in God's creation. And she thinks she's worth $3 million to sit there and babble, in a short skirt and babble, while guys that put in work earn less. And black men actually going along with it, and she should get her money. And these guys are barely making $1 million a year, but she wants 8, and they're siding with her. So imagine all this going on, and then Jason Whitlock, of all people, weighs in and starts throwing bombs. Start throwing logical bombs, bombs that we loaded up years ago. He started bombing this social justice, this black social justice warrior stuff left and right. Now, do I agree with him by calling certain people criminals? No. But what he says about black deaths and what we get trinkets and we get celebration and a little bit of recognition. They get jobs and money and power. They host a party in our name and they go home with the cash. That's all this is. But he's 100% right, man. And I just had to play this, and I had to put this out, man, because this is like, I'm still processing it, as you can tell. I'm still processing it. I don't really know what to make of it. If we get another person like this, of that level, that stature, from mainstream media weighing in on this, man, Katie barred the door. Times is going to change. Times are going to change. So this whole process from taking the manosphere mainstream and all the way up through Kevin Samuels and it going mainstream, and even Kwame Brown, right, going off. All this stuff means this is changing. That's exactly why you bring in the PhDs. Are they more important than everybody else? No, they're not. But they're a missing element. In other words, the PhDs, shout out to Dr. Johnson, Dr. Neal, Dr. Gigi, even Dr. Curry. They're keys to unlock certain doors, right? And once you unlock a certain door, you can cross the threshold. You could have never had a Kevin Samuels without those 4 doctors. Could not have had them. Could not have had him without those 4 doctors. The reason that he can go mainstream is because he's backed up by all different phases of the black manosphere, all different phases and classes of the population. So now that you have us, you have the doctors, now we're getting mainstream, and we're getting popularity in mainstream actors and characters as to come out and speak on this behalf and make this stuff public. Bruh, we on our way. We are on our way. This hasn't happened since the 60s. And to bring up the Monahan report, from 1965, which our women pushed back on because they didn't want to give up power. Bruh, Roham. Like I said, I'm still processing it because he just put it out. Dr. Neal just shared it. Big fist up, powerful fist up in the air to Dr. Neal for sharing this and pointing this out. Because, like I said, my mouth dropped open. I said, I had to email Dr. Johnson and say, hey, is this Dr. Curry masquerading as Jason Whitlock? Because I hear the sentiment, but I said, those darn sure aren't his words, man. They are not his words. Anyway, not going to make this too long. I just want to drop this. I might be doing something on this later, but man. Jason Whitlock, I don't often agree with you, Jason, but sometimes when a broken clock strikes 12, you have to acknowledge it, man. Sound the alarm, okay? It's noontime. It's noontime for us, and it's midnight for the Gynocracy. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.